You're standing in a small group on the African savanna. 200,000 years ago, you see a herd of animals in the distance. You feel danger. You feel hunger. You feel an idea. A complex thought forms in your mind. You want to tell the person next to you, if three of us circle around behind those rocks, we can trap one, but you can't. Because the most powerful tool in the universe is still locked inside your head. The discovery of fire changed what we ate, but the discovery of language changed what we were. It turned us from solitary thinkers into a single, powerful superorganism. But here's the question that has haunted scientists for centuries. When did the first word break the silence? And what was it? There's a reason we don't know exactly when language began. Language itself doesn't fossilize. You can dig up a bone, you can dig up a tool, but you cannot dig up a sentence. Scientists call this the problem of the prehistoric voice box. We know that every other animal communicates. Bees dance, birds sing, monkeys have alarm calls, specific shouts for leopard versus eagle. But those are closed systems. A monkey can't invent a new word for boring fruit. Human language is different. It's open-ended. We take sounds, we rearrange them, and we create infinite meaning from finite parts. The linguist Charles Hockett called this duality of patterning, and it is our secret weapon. So, when did this engine in our brain switch on? For decades, the search was just guesswork. But then, in the early 2000s, scientists in London found something incredible hiding in our DNA. A gene called FOXP2. Now, FOXP2 isn't the grammar gene. It's more like the instruction manual for fine motor control of the mouth and face. But here's the jaw-dropping part. In a British family, known as the KE family, half the members had a severe speech disorder. They couldn't coordinate their lips and tongues to form words. When scientists sequenced their DNA, they found a mutation in that exact spot, FOXP2. They ran the numbers. They calculated when that specific, perfect version of FOXP2 appeared in our lineage. The answer? Roughly 200,000 years ago. That's exactly when Homo sapiens, us, were appearing in Africa. We weren't just getting new bodies. We were getting new wiring. We were getting the hardware necessary to speak. But hardware is useless without the machine. If FOXP2 was the software update, we needed proof that the body could actually produce the sounds. And in 1989, at a site called Blombos Cave in Israel, they found it. This is a hyoid bone. It's the only bone in the human body that isn't connected to another bone. It floats in your throat, anchoring the muscles of your tongue and larynx. Without it, you can't speak. The hyoid found at Kibara wasn't attached to a modern human. It was attached to a Neanderthal. And when they scanned it, they realized it was virtually identical to ours. It was built for complex speech, that's right. Those cavemen we picture grunting and pointing, they might have been capable of poetry. The mystery deepens. If Neanderthals had the hardware, why aren't they here? Maybe it wasn't just the hardware, it was the software. So how did it actually start? There are three mind-blowing theories about the first spark. Theory 1, the gesture. Some scientists believe language started with hand gestures. They point to the fact that even today, when we talk, we gesture. And in monkeys, the part of the brain that controls hand movements is right next to the part that controls vocalization. The idea is that a gesture, like a pointing finger, eventually demanded a sound. Theory 2, the singing hypothesis. This one is beautiful. Proposed by Darwin himself, it suggests language began as music, as mating calls. Before we had words, we had melodies, humming, crooning, emotional tones. Over time, These melodies became attached to meanings. The lullaby became a legend. Theory 3. The Toolmaking Theory. This is more grounded. Archaeologist Steven Mithen suggests that early humans had a type of communication he calls which means holistic, manipulative, multimodal, musical. It was a mix of grunts and gestures, but the real pressure for clarity came from toolmaking. Try teaching someone to knap a flint axe without words. It's almost impossible. The complexity of our tools increased in lockstep with the complexity of our speech. You can't pass down the knowledge of how to make fire or spear a mammoth without a way to say, do this, not that. But here is the absolute thrill. Language isn't just about saying food or danger. It's about things that don't exist. It's about the past and the future. The earliest evidence of this isn't a word, but a symbol. At Blombos Cave in South Africa, 100,000 years ago, someone took a piece of ochre and carved geometric lines into it. It's art, it's decoration. It means something. To create a symbol, you need language. You need to be able to think, this pattern represents our group. This red mark represents me. Once you have symbols, you have society. You have religion. You have stories. So, what was the first word? Was it mama? Was it a warning cry? Was it a name? We will never know exactly which sounds first pierced the silence. But we know the moment mattered more than any other. The first word was a bridge. It connected the isolated mind of one human to another. It allowed a grandfather to tell his grandson about a water source that dried up 40 years ago. It allowed a hunter to describe a beast he hadn't yet caught. The discovery of fire kept us warm, but the discovery of language kept us alive. It allowed us to cooperate, to imagine, to build. From that first, fragile, impossible sound, we built everything: laws, cities, love letters, and the very device you are using to hear this story. The next time you speak, think about the miracle happening in your throat, a gift coded in your genes, made possible by a tiny bone, perfected over 200,000 years. Somewhere in ancient Africa, a human looked at another and for the first time was truly understood. And the world went from silent to infinite. And that is the story of the first word, the spark that lit the fire of human connection. If you found this journey through time as incredible as we did, hit that like button and subscribe to join us on our next adventure into the deep past. What would you like us to explore next? The first tools? The first art? Let us know in the comments. Until then, keep listening, because every word you speak carries 200,000 years of history. Thanks for watching.